After my husband died on the battlefield, I vowed never to remarry and secured a tax-exempt chastity arch for my family. But one day, a woman poured filthy water over my chastity arch. What kind of chaste woman are you? You're just a slut who seduced someone else's husband. I was still in shock when comments appeared in front of me. Good job, heroine. In her previous life, the heroine worked hard to earn money, but the scumbag gave it all to the slut, leaving her to dig up wild vegetables to eat. Even the school place she begged for her child was given to her child. Fortunately, God has eyes, and the female lead has been reborn. In this life, the scumbag and the slut will not die a good death. What the hell? Who did those things? I grabbed a broom and hit her with it. How dare you insult my reputation? I'll fight you to the death. Chapter 1. For a woman, chastity and reputation are more important than life itself. Especially for a woman like me who has a chastity plaque. It could even lead to imprisonment. I grabbed the broom and struck her viciously. She was unable to defend herself and kept stepping back. But she didn't forget to hurl insults at me. You slut! You seduced my husband, and now you dare to hit me? Someone, quick! Report this to the authorities. Throw this slut into a pig's cage. She dared to speak such nonsense. I dropped the broom. I pounced on her, pinning her to the ground. I struck her face with both hands. I beat her until her face was swollen like a pig's head. Her eyes flashed with hatred, and she tried to scream. I grabbed her mouth and pulled it open. I'll teach you to talk back. I'll teach you to lie. I pulled her mouth open with all my strength, and she could only make muffled cries. This doesn't make sense. How can this slut be so strong? She can even tear the female lead apart with her hands? The female lead is used to doing rough work. Where did these strange words come from? Let's set that aside for now. The urgent matter at hand is to send this woman who dared to tarnish my reputation to the authorities. I was afraid she'd run away if I let go. So I grabbed her hair and said to the aunt watching the scene, "Please, hand me a stick. I need to break her legs so she can't escape." The aunt immediately started searching for a stick. What she eventually handed me was a freshly dismantled table leg. The woman's eyes finally betrayed her fear. The text began to appear faster. No way. She's really going to break the female lead's legs? This is completely lawless. What should we do? What should we do? The female lead must fight back. Fighting back is impossible. A widow's doorstep is always full of trouble. Over the years of widowhood, I've become skilled at dealing with those who tried to flirt with me, let alone a mere peasant woman. With one swing of the stick, I struck her so hard she let out a scream like a pig being slaughtered. Then I grabbed her hair and dragged her toward the town hall. As we walked, I shouted, "Everyone, come judge this. I am Li Zhongshi, a widow for several years, and I have never had any involvement with any other man. Today, this wicked woman dares to slander me, accusing me of having an affair with her husband." By the time we reached the town hall, a large crowd had gathered behind us. This is the first time I've seen such a disgraceful female lead. Wait. How can this female supporting character be so brazen? If I didn't do it. Of course I'm brazen. Once we arrived at the county office, I sat down on the ground. I slapped my thigh and began to cry. "Officer, you must avenge me. Someone is slandering me, accusing me of being unfaithful to my deceased husband. This peasant woman has nothing left to live for." I cried and screamed, even pretending to bang my head against the pillar. Finally, the county magistrate was summoned. This woman, the so-called female lead, didn't pretend to be dead anymore. She got up from the ground and started shouting, "Your Honor, she had an affair with my husband." I immediately refuted her. "Nonsense. Who is your husband?" She sneered upon hearing this. "Lu Yuan. Your late husband's deputy. Upon hearing this, I was stunned. After my husband went missing on the battlefield, his deputy had indeed taken good care of our family. I had even asked him to search for my husband again. Perhaps he was still alive? But Lu Yuan said my husband had taken a sword for him on the battlefield and died instantly. Now they say he's missing. But it's probably just because there were too many unrecognizable bodies to identify. Seeing how firmly he spoke, and out of a sense of duty, I believed him. But I do know Lu Yuan, but we had no private dealings. I do know Lu Yuan, but we have no private dealings. Every time he came, it was my father-in-law who received him. On what basis do you say I have a private relationship with him and are ruining my reputation? Don't you know how important a woman's reputation is? How dare she say such a thing with a straight face? Given what she just did, does she even care about her reputation? Seeing this, I didn't care. I just listened closely to her so-called defense. She deceived my husband, took the family's money, and used it to buy jewelry and accessories for herself. I secured an enrollment spot at the White Egret Academy for my son, but she took it away from me. Please investigate this matter thoroughly. Your Honor, my family has no food left to eat. As she spoke, she sniffled a few times. I stared at her, and she really did look like she was crying because she had been wronged. It didn't seem fake. Yeah. The female supporting character is really disgusting. If she can't afford to raise her child, she should just remarry. Why ruin someone else's married life? The scumbag is also despicable. He fell for a widow's charms and got hooked. I felt very uncomfortable. But I was afraid of disturbing the supernatural beings and causing trouble. It wasn't worth arguing with them. So I directed my anger at the female lead. Your husband is just a lowly soldier. Even if he drained your family's fortune, what good would that do? If I ever want a man or need money, I can easily find a suitable family to remarry into. With such a handsome and wealthy late husband, why would I ever look at your husband? And how dare your son take your son's spot at the school? The White Egret Academy has such exorbitant tuition fees, how could you possibly afford it? The female lead sneered in response. It's all from my hard work. And the spot at the White Egret Academy? I secured it by taking on all the laundry work for the teachers and students there. That's right. The female lead washed so many clothes in the cold winter that her hands swelled up. The female supporting character tricked her so easily. How despicable. I instinctively looked at her hands. Indeed, her hands were red and swollen. However, I sneered. Most of the students at the White Egret Academy come from wealthy families. They have their own laundry maids at home and wouldn't dare to use others. If you wash their clothes, you can get a spot. There are plenty of women willing to do that. Why should you get it? The female supporting character is right. The White Egret Academy is like Tsinghua or Peking University. Ordinary people can't even get near it, let alone wash clothes there. If washing clothes can get you into hucking, wouldn't everyone go crazy trying to get a spot? But she's the female lead. The female lead has a halo. Washing clothes is real. And the spot is real. Her son's spot is also gone for real. She opened her mouth to argue. But I didn't bother to continue the argument. Sir, this matter is probably related to Lu Yuan. Why not summon Lu Yuan to ask him? I stood up straight. I will not allow anyone to tarnish my reputation. Otherwise, I'll kill myself under that virtue arch. My in-laws aren't just some unknown family. They're one of the few major landowners within 100 miles. This county magistrate is also related to my maternal family. Otherwise, how could I have obtained this chastity arch? You must know that the chastity arch not only reduces taxes, it also prevents me from being forced into another marriage. It would put an end to my mother-in-law's plans to expel me from the household and my parents' desire for me to remarry. I could remain in my husband's family and safeguard my son's inheritance. The wealth and status of my in-laws' household would ensure my comfort for the rest of my life. Without a husband, I would be free from household chores, and I would have a good reputation. These are things that ordinary women can only dream of. Besides, what's so great about being a widow? The county magistrate glared at me and summoned Lu Yuan. Just as I thought it was all a misunderstanding on the female lead's part. Lu Yuan admitted to our affair as soon as he entered the courtroom. He kept repeating, "My sister-in-law's life was so hard, so I just helped her a little." Over time, feelings developed. It's all my fault. Please punish me, magistrate. And don't blame her. The crowd gathered around us erupted into chaos. They pointed and whispered at me. At that moment, I remained surprisingly calm. He was framing me. Why? He was my husband's closest confidant. I sensed something was wrong. But I asked him, "Are you saying that you indeed gave your son's spot to my son?" Lu Yuan, upon hearing this, looked at me with deep affection and called me by my given name. "Inger, don't resist anymore. We'll give up the memorial arch. From now on, our family will live together happily." He knew my childhood name. Besides my maternal family, only my husband knew it. How could he? In the blink of an eye, I had a hunch. There was likely someone behind this, providing information to Lu Yuan. But how could that be? Isn't my husband dead? I looked at the county magistrate. The county magistrate slammed his gavel. "You say that Li Zhongshi had an affair with you. So you gave your son's spot to Li Zhongshi? Now I ask you. Li Zhongshi's uncle is the headmaster of the White Egret Academy. Why would she go to such lengths to obtain your son's spot?" Lu Yuan, upon hearing this, sweat trickled down his forehead. Because she was jealous. He looked at the county magistrate, appearing innocent. She hated me for not divorcing my wife to marry her. So she took it out on my son and insisted I give him my son's spot. I was blind. Your Honor, I can prove that I had an affair with her. She has a red mole 3 fingers below her belly button. At that moment, I felt like I had fallen into an ice cellar. This plot doesn't make sense. The scumbag should deny everything. Why does he look like he's dragging the female lead to her death? Right. Isn't he deeply in love with her? If the affair is proven, I will surely face execution. Then, thinking this, I steeled my resolve. I knelt before the county magistrate and banged my head on the ground. This humble woman cannot prove her innocence. If that is the case, please sentence me for adultery. Is the female lead asking for death? I clenched my teeth and glared at Lu Yuan with hatred. I am a woman who has been awarded a chastity plaque. Lu Yuan has committed adultery with me. His crime deserves execution. Please have him executed by 1,000 cuts to serve as a warning to others. Lu Yuan roared, pointing at me. You. I stared at the county magistrate and said slowly, "Please oversee the execution personally to ensure he does not escape justice." Though it was absurd. But I felt my husband was still alive. Lu Yuan's treatment of me was likely at his instigation. The more I thought about it, the more certain I became. That's right. He's neither seen alive nor found dead. Saying he's dead is just Lu Yuan's word. Gold and silver. Or perhaps a promotion. He must have promised him something. That's why Lu Yuan is so desperate to frame me. The county magistrate's expression grew solemn. What's going on? Is there some hidden plot? Lu Yuan, you really had an affair with Li Zhongshi? Adultery with a chaste woman is unforgivable. The county magistrate lowered his voice. His lips curled in derision. If you confess, sign the confession and seal it with your fingerprint. Upon hearing this, beads of sweat began to form on Lu Yuan's forehead. Just as someone brought the confession document, He suddenly went mad and shouted, "No! Your Honor! Your Honor! I did not have an affair with my sister-in-law." The county magistrate heard this and flew into a rage, slamming the bench. "You just admitted to having an affair. Now you say you didn't? Are you mocking this official? Bring him 10 lashes and make him think it over." The female lead heard this and showed a look of dissatisfaction on her face. "Your Honor, he's clearly afraid of being executed by 1,000 cuts. So he's denying it. Your Honor." The county magistrate looked at the female lead with a displeased expression. "How dare you criticize my actions?" He waved his hand. "Out of mercy for your ignorance as a woman, I'll spare you and give you 5 lashes instead." The county magistrate had spoken, no one dared disobey. The so-called male and female leads were pressed to the ground and subjected to punishment. The agonizing screams echoed in succession, making me unable to bear the sight. Heaven! How tragic! Each stroke leaves his buttocks bleeding. Wait. Is Lu Yuan really this useless? Even a mere county magistrate can handle him. This female lead's family is powerful and influential. If she wants to find someone to marry, she certainly doesn't need him. I clenched my teeth and looked at Lu Yuan being punished. The men beating him seemed to be hitting him lightly. But with each blow, the bloodstains on his pants grew larger. Lu Yuan couldn't take it anymore. I'll talk. It was my older brother who told me to frame my sister-in-law." Those nonsensical words came out. Everyone present frowned. I screamed and rushed forward. I put on a performance of a grieving widow. "You've already falsely accused me. Now you're going to falsely accuse my husband? He treated you like a brother. And on the battlefield, he even blocked a sword for you." I repeated everything he had once said to me, with bloodshot eyes. I accused him. "What have we done to you? Why do you hate me and my husband so much?" The county magistrate was furious. "Beat him severely. Beat this ungrateful villager." Lu Yuan was beaten until he screamed in agony. These constables really know how to fight. One blow can break bones and damage tendons. If they really beat him 20 times, he'll be bedridden for the rest of his life. Lu Yuan knows some martial arts. He must have sensed something was wrong and decided to spill the beans. Lu Yuan screamed like a ghost. "It's really my older brother. He's not dead. Back then, he didn't go missing on the battlefield. He actually went to find his true love to live a life of bliss together. He thought you wouldn't be able to hold on, so he planned to come back after you remarried. Who could have guessed you'd become a chaste widow? His children outside need to go to school, so they have to trace their lineage back to him. That's why." I coldly interjected. "So you plotted to frame me? Just to make me give up my position?" Lu Yuan clenched his teeth, unable to say more. He feared becoming disabled. But he dared not say more, fearing my husband's revenge. The female lead heard this and found it hard to believe. "No. That's impossible." She shook her head and screamed with all her might. "You're just saying that to save your own life. You two are having an affair." The female lead couldn't accept it. From start to finish, the only ones deceived were me and her. Lu Yuan nearly choked on his own blood. "Look at how she looks. Would she ever look at me? You stupid woman. Are you trying to kill me?" The female lead still couldn't accept it. The money. And the spot. The truth had already been revealed. Lu Yuan gave up and said, "It's all for my older brother. His children outside also need to go to school. Once my older brother returns, he'll promote me. What won't I have then? The biggest regret of my life is marrying such a shallow, stupid woman like you." All the favors were actually given to Zhang Qian. They just used her as a widow's cover to maintain appearances. She had everything she needed. The ones truly lacking and in need of fulfillment were the Zhang Qian family, who had to live in obscurity. Wait. Let me get this straight. So the scumbag isn't a scumbag. He didn't want to have two women at the same time. He exploited the female lead and got close to the female supporting character to curry favor with his boss and climb the corporate ladder? So it was all a misunderstanding on the part of the female lead. And she ruined her husband's chance for promotion? Hey, everyone. Watch your stance. Remember, the female lead was reborn. To put it bluntly, the scumbag exploited the female lead and her child to secure a bright future for himself. The female supporting character is really wronged, falsely accused of having an affair, and the female lead is exhausted. In the end, two scumbags achieve fame and fortune and embrace new lovers? This hidden plot surprised me. I always thought there was something wrong with this plot. How can you fall for the widow of your boss? Aren't you afraid he'll come back from the grave? I looked at the so-called female lead and saw a hint of regret, resentment, and even a hint of guilt on her face. It was as if she had really done something wrong to the male lead. My heart skipped a beat. Wait. The female lead isn't going to forgive the scumbag. Is she? The scumbag had an affair with the female supporting character, so her hatred disappeared. No. Think about all the suffering you endured in your previous life. Thanks to these words, I knew what kind of life the female lead had lived. She was definitely a good wife and mother. She regarded her husband as her heaven and her children as her life. Her scumbag husband didn't bring home any money, so she would rather expose herself to earn a living. Her husband favored his younger siblings and gave her sons clothes, eggs, and meat to his younger siblings' children. But she endured it. Her children cried and cried for meat and new clothes. She felt so guilty that she worked desperately outside the home. This makes her son feel so sorry for her that he often goes fishing in the river or does manual labor to help support the family. In her previous life, her children died, and it was all her fault. I can't believe it. What kind of woman values her husband more than her own children? Especially such obedient and understanding children? Even after being reborn, she can still forgive him? The little sympathy I had for the female lead vanished instantly. I even felt that her fate in her previous life was deserved. Such a weak, useless woman who relied on a man, why should she get a second chance? After Lu Yuan confessed, the county magistrate sent men to arrest my husband. But when they went to the place, no one was there. The father and mother you always respected and treated well. He hid them and the family he raised outside the city in a village, without anyone to arrest. Lu Yuan was just talking nonsense. In that case, the female supporting character and the scumbag would have to die together. Indeed, because there was no way to prove that Lu Yuan was telling the truth. I couldn't bring myself to say those words. He and I were thrown into prison. The prison was dark and damp, and just entering it was extremely uncomfortable. Because of my connection to the county magistrate, I was assigned a single cell with a little bit of light. The other prisoners would insult me, but the guards would scold them. Gradually, it became quiet around me. Mrs. Lee, please eat. This is from the county magistrate himself. When it was time for dinner, a servant brought in a food box. I opened it and saw that it was filled with my favorite dishes. 8 treasured duck, osmanthus chicken, and white rice porridge. I was stunned. Having a powerful backer really makes a difference. The female lead is eating a full Manchu Han banquet here. The scumbag is getting beaten up inside. I stared at the dishes, lost in thought. The servant, seeing this, grew impatient and said, "Madam, why aren't you eating? The county magistrate has been extra kind. Please finish quickly so I can take the food box away." I looked at the servant. Without expression, I pulled the silver hairpin from my hair. I stirred it around in the food, and sure enough, the silver hairpin turned black. The servant saw this and his face turned fierce. He grabbed the plate and tried to force it into my mouth. But I took a step back. holding the hairpin, in a defensive posture. Someone. Help! Someone help! Someone is trying to kill me. The jailers came running at the sound. The servant was about to attack again, but I stabbed him with the hairpin. It struck him squarely in the left eye. He clutched his bleeding eye and screamed in agony. The jailer arrived just in time to save me. In the dungeon, someone had attempted to silence me. The county magistrate arrived upon hearing the commotion. Seeing the scene, he sneered coldly. Your husband is truly remarkable. No wonder your parents loved him so much back then. What a pity that all his skills were wasted on you. My husband wanted me to give up my position, to make way for his lover. If I died, he would achieve his goal. I never expected him to go this far. After all, my family isn't just some ordinary household. I am even a renowned chaste woman. Today, Lu Yuan has made his plans clear. I died unjustly. He will be the prime suspect. From then on, the two families became enemies. I never knew my husband was such a cruel person. This is unbelievable. He even poisoned her. How did the female supporting character know the food was poisoned? The county magistrate and the female supporting character are indeed related by marriage, so giving her some extra care is understandable. But the county magistrate has already tried to avoid any appearance of favoritism in court. Why go to such lengths to prepare such a lavish meal? If it were me, I would take care of the younger generation in prison by ordering someone to protect them and ensure they had enough to eat and drink. The county magistrate was in a difficult position. I pretended to have just remembered and said, my in-laws took in a poor relative. They live on a farm outside the city. Sir, you should go take a look. Zhang Qian was arrested. Along with him were his lover and their 2 children. His existence undeniably proved that Lu Yuan's confession was true. But Zhang Qian refused to admit it. I was just pretending to be a loving couple with Man Yang outside. We were fine. Why did you ruin my wife? Lu Yuan tried to blackmail me over this. But I refused. He must have held a grudge and framed me and Inger. Damn. You scumbag. You're such a smooth talker. The county magistrate knows he's lying. But he can't do anything about it. If something happens to him, how will the female lead live? It's the ancient times after all. The husband is as important as heaven. No way. The female lead has to happily accept her husband coming back from the dead and take him and his entire family back. Right. I have no choice but to do this. The county magistrate imprisoned Lu Yuan on charges of false accusation. I had to take responsibility for the matter and bring Zhang Qian and the others back to the mansion. At least it's better than being accused of adultery. Right? I brought Zhang Qian and the others back to the mansion. My in-laws put on a look of overjoyed surprise. They hugged Zhang Qian and cried out, my son! You're finally back. Fortunately, they were indifferent to the child Zhang Qian brought back. After all, my child had already grown up. He was raised under the watchful eyes of the 2 elders. How could he be any worse than a bastard born to an outsider? The woman Zhang Qian brought back was indeed beautiful and delicate. She was quiet and didn't speak much. But before entering the mansion, she said arrogantly, if you want me to enter the mansion, at least give me a proper title. I refuse to be a concubine. Refuse to be a concubine? Does that mean I, his lawful wife, must give up my position? My father-in-law flew into a rage. Qian, are you planning to divorce your wife? The Zhang family cannot afford such a disgrace. Zhang Qian, upon hearing this, merely frowned at me. Man Yang has been by my side for years and has given birth to my son. I was thinking of giving Man Yang the status of a co-wife. In the future, there will be no distinction between them, and you and Man Yang can call each other sisters. How does that sound? Oh my God. What a despicable man. I want to tear him apart. As expected, men are like that. The more despicable they are, the more despicable they become. Don't hurt the person above. I won't do that. This scumbag seems to have given up everything for love. Let's call him True Love instead, since we've used up all the other names for scumbags. Don't insult True Love. True love can't be spoken of too soon. Is he using women as stepping stones? I looked at Zhang Qian, who looked determined. I guess he still thinks I'm the gentle and lovely woman I used to be. It's a pity that I've been a widow for so many years, facing so many people eyeing me greedily. I'm no longer the person I was back then. If my husband insists on this, then please let us divorce. I will step down and make way for you, fulfilling your wishes. I will never call the woman who stole my husband my sister. I refuse to back down. With my family background, he couldn't do anything to me. Why else would he have chosen to fake his death and flee in the first place? This proud woman had finally yielded. She was willing to enter the mansion as a concubine. But when she entered, her eyes were red with tears. Zhang Qian felt a pang of pity. When their child entered the mansion, he shoved me hard. You dare to bully my mother? I sneered, grabbed the child, and slapped him across the face. The child burst into tears. Zhang Qian flew into a rage. You. I merely glanced at Zhang Qian indifferently. How dare a bastard call his concubine mother? Does my husband have any grievances about how I discipline the children? The in-laws ignored him, so Zhang Qian could only grit his teeth and accept it. Impressive. Female lead. You came in and immediately showed your strength. The scumbag and the mistress are the ones who did wrong. What does the child have to do with it? This is no ordinary child. This is a child who can fight with the female supporting character's son for the family fortune. Zhang Qian was very dissatisfied with me. So, the first thing he did when he came back was to demand the secret money he had hidden away when he was under my husband's command. Then he used that money to subsidize those illegitimate children. The new mistress was still showing off in front of me. Since Qian loves me so much, even as a concubine, I'm far more prestigious than you. This family fortune will definitely be my son's in the future. Ugh. How disgusting. No wonder she's a mistress. The female lead is way too tolerant. Tolerant? I'm not tolerant. It's just that men are useless to me. If someone wants them, I'll give them away. Zhang Qian returned home, and with a man in the house, it at least put an end to the clan members' plans to take advantage of the family. But I would never allow anyone to covet the family fortune. That night, Zhang Qian took an overdose of aphrodisiac on the barbarian concubine's bed and suffered a stroke. He didn't die. He just had a stroke. He was paralyzed in bed, with a crooked mouth and slanted eyes. As the legitimate wife, how could I tolerate such behavior from that barbarian woman? On the spot, I ordered someone to beat her half to death. Zhang Qian was still unconscious. I then called a slave trader and had her sold away. That is the difference between a wife and a concubine. While Zhang Qian was alive, I couldn't control her. Now that he's gone, I'm her master. Her children cried and screamed incessantly. They glared at me with hatred. When I grow up, I'll avenge this. I raised an eyebrow. Grow up? Do you think you'll even have the chance? Should the female supporting character target the children? If it were me, I might do the same. Why should the hard-earned family estate go to others? I sent people to search through everything Zhang Qian had sent away. Then, I sent the 3 children to the most remote courtyard to be raised. My in-laws wept bitterly, but they dared not offend me. After all, we had already severed ties. With Zhang Qian in his current state, he couldn't be the pillar of the family. The 2 of them, along with a cripple and several young children, might not survive much longer. When Zhang Qian woke up and learned of this, he kept shouting, but no one knew what he was saying. I'm telling you to stop talking nonsense. But who cared? He had eloped with another woman. so our ties were already severed. When he returned to seize the family fortune and deliberately framed me that day, I wanted to kill him. From then on, I continued to hold the reins of the household. After my son passed the imperial examination, I seized the family fortune and went to the capital with him. As for Zhang Qian, let those 3 illiterate children take care of him. After all, Zhang Qian didn't wrong anyone. Not even them. They are fulfilling their filial duty, it's only right. This is the real deal, a satisfying story with a strong female lead. Compared to her, the original female lead was so stupid and cowardly. The story should be over now, right? By the way, what happened to the original female lead? I don't know. Probably serving Lu Yuan to atone for ruining her husband's future. Ah, didn't she get reborn? So what if she was reborn? The original plot was that after she was reborn, she would beat up the scumbag and the slut, meet her true love, and live happily ever after. Her husband is still alive, and she didn't get rid of him, so she can't remarry. How can she reach the peak of her life? Before she was reborn, she met a scumbag, and after she was reborn, she found true love. When will this trashy plot be changed? Isn't it better to be strong and beautiful on your own? After Zhang Qian died, I could no longer see those words. I heard that Zhang Qian was starved to death. After securing the leverage over those 3 children and entrusting them to my son, I decided to live my own life. After Zhang Qian was resurrected, my chastity plaque was taken away. I no longer needed to adhere to those strict rules and regulations. From then on, my life truly began. End of the story.